farmers, welcome back to Griffin, Indiana, where my problems continue here. Last episode, yes, the hay didn't happen. Winter came, grass never turned, and now here we are. Another problem, I recorded this episode and went to edit the video, and I have audio for the game, but nothing from my microphone. Checked my settings, and for some reason my recording program decided to change what microphone I was using, a microphone that's not even plugged into my PC, so I appreciate that. So I gotta do a voiceover. I thought about doing the episode over, but then again, you're gonna miss everything that I did here, and to me it was actually a pretty good episode. So I have to do a voiceover. But anyways, here we are back in Griffin, Indiana, of course. We got snow on the ground, but the good thing is the ground temperature is still above freezing, and we're going to jump into that thing right there, the Dudes Fire T9 series with our subsoiler. We're going to plow our grass field today, making a meadow into a field. Yeah, the poor cattle, well, they're just going to have to wait until, well, today. Today is going to be the day. We're actually going to go to the store later on. We're going to buy some hay for them, and yeah, we're going to give them some TMR. Meanwhile, Frank in the Ford is down here, and he is doing a contract, as I'm showing on field number 9. And I was wondering if it was going to work because there's snow on the ground. But if the ground's not frozen, I guess you can still do the contracts in there. So Frank is going to be down here in the Ford. Hopefully he doesn't have any problems because with snow on the ground, it gets slippery. So hopefully when he takes a corner, he doesn't slide off course. But usually course play will figure it out. But will he get stuck on doing the headlands? If he gets around the headlands, that's the biggest problem for him. So once he gets around the headlands and starts doing the zigzagging, he should be fine there. But the good news is, was it like $42,000 I'll get from this contract today? So he's got many contracts I want to get done before the ground is frozen. The other thing I'm going to show you here probably in a second is, can we go back to contracts here? Oh, I did. There we go. If we look down here, snow clearing. So those are the winter contracts. As for other maps, for you players who are play with seasons on other maps, do they have winter contracts, or is this special to this map or certain maps? But the snow clearing, I'm kind of showing there to where we got to clear snow in a certain area marked with green poles, and then we got to plow or dump the snow on our own land. So we got to remove the snow from wherever this area is and bring it to our land and dump it on our land, because as you know, even in regular farming simulator mode, you cannot dump like grain or anything unless it's on your own fields. So we're going to do one of these contracts, not in this episode. I did not do anything because see, they don't pay that much. So I'll probably use the Ford and the bucket loader because we can use the 9,000 liter bucket. Hopefully that might be enough to clear out the snow in the small area. I don't know how big the areas are, but we'll find out in a future episode here what the snow clearing is all about. But this is Frank from the Pacific Northwest. He's going to be down there. He's working for us now, so he's probably not too thrilled about the snow being on the ground. But he's going to fertilize the fields for us today and bring in some cash. As for us, our grass meadow is now going to turn into a field. So the ground's not frozen. It's at 36 degrees. Right now I'm turning our subsoiler on to allow to create fields. And as long as I get the field plowed in before the ground freezes, I don't think ground temperature changes during the day in seasons. I think the ground temperature only changes in the middle of the night. So that should be fine for us today. And I was thinking, how long is this going to take me to plow this field in? And honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, it did not take me as long as I thought it would. Being a modded subsoiler as it is, we can plow / subsoil at 17 miles an hour. The reason why I'm not plowing further to the left is because I have talked about in the future getting a bigger silo bunker. The silo bunker we have is 3 bays. And I think each one holds like 100,000 liters, which is fine for what we got now. But compacting chaff into silage in there, the problem is it's such a short distance forward and backwards. Horse play doesn't like short distances, and it gets kind of goofy sometimes. And it's a lot of going forward and backwards. So what I want to do is get a long bunker, and it'll be easier to compact chaff and so on and so forth. And I'm thinking I have a plan for the bunker, but that's for future. That's not this season. It may not even be next season because whatever. So here we are plowing the headland for our grass field. That didn't quite pan out at the end of the season. In retrospect, now I wish if I could go back, I probably should have made the hay bales first because the grass turning to hay in the summer is going to be a lot faster than it did in the fall. or not at all in the fall. I just waited too long. I thought doing it that late in the fall, we got a couple days before winter, and we had a plus symbol for a good drying day. So I'm like, the grass will dry, and obviously you saw in last episode, it never did. And of course, then when it snowed, the grass does decompose completely, and yeah, we have no hay. But we're going to take care of the cows later on today. I actually looked at the price of buying 8 bales at 4,000 liters apiece, so that's 32,000 liters of hay for $5,000. I figured we're gonna feed the cows some TMR because I would like to get the cows' health up. Right now, their health has been flat at 58% because they've been eating nothing but grass from the grass field. We gave them silage at the end of last episode, which is actually the same in-game day as we are in now. So by the end of this episode, yeah, they're going to have some TMR. Actually doing the voiceover for this video now is not too bad because I had some frustrations. I mentioned before that I was going to test out the automatic feeding system for this off camera so I know what I'm doing. And I didn't get a chance to do it. And I tried to do it in this video, and there was a couple things I looked at. I'm like, oh, what am I doing wrong? And within about 30 seconds, I figured out what I was doing wrong, and it took care of it. But mainly this episode is us going around here plowing this wonderful field that we have, we are going to have. And I really wanted to get this done today because I didn't want to wait until springtime to do it, because that just wastes like a half day or whatever, but it doesn't matter. But what I'm really trying to do here is get the field plowed today, and in between episodes, because I recorded this episode way before it needs to go out, because I want to do some work in between this episode and the next episode, which go out back-to-back days. I want to get some work done, meaning after I get this field plowed, I want to go get the soil sampler, and I forgot what that thing is called for precision farming. And I need to go around and get soil samples, obviously, to test our field to see what it requires. And I want to get that done before spring rolls around, because when spring rolls around, I want to put the lime down, and of course, then we're going to plant our grass and then fertilize. So when spring comes, we just got to wait for the certain temperature. And I could not remember what temperature I can plant grass at. So I know here in a little while, I get kind of curious and I check it. And so we'll wait until we get to that point, and I'll explain it as well. I kind of go into whole detail of, you know what, I may not even show it, but so I'll just explain it now, actually. So in seasons, to plant grass seed, the ground temperature needs to be at least 37 degrees. And right now we are at 36. So I could actually, if I had a seeder, plant grass in, and the game will allow me to. But with the ground temperature being so cold, the first night I sleep through, the ground temperature is so cold, the grass will not germinate, and all the seed I planted will pretty much just die. And I lost all the money I put into seeding a field. In Farming Simulator, I think 15 was the first time seasons went public. And, you know, I thought it was going to be like any other mod. Just jump in, how hard it going to be. I thought it was kind of simplified, and I planted my first day of spring. The ground temperature was obviously too cold, and I did not know that, and I was planting like wheat, barley. I was planting everything. And then the next day, I went to check on my fields, and I checked the PDA map, and it said, why does it say none of my fields are planted? And then I read more into the seasons mod, and it's like, oh, you got to check ground temperature before you plant. But anyways, yeah, the ground temperature needs to be 37 degrees for us to plant grass. So I want to get a lot of the work done so I can get the grass planted as soon as possible in the springtime to get this grass started. And obviously, the first time we do anything with this field next season, it's going to be to make hay. I think we got plenty of silage for the cattle that we have for at least a year. Easy, I would think. I think the one bunker that we're working on has like 50,000 liters of silage in it left. And I'm going to say the other bunker may have like 800,000 liters. Not 800,000 liters, sorry. Wait, is that right? No, 80,000 liters. I need to check on that, actually. I shouldn't say that now because I really don't know how much those bunkers hold. And I'm speaking on my butt right now about that silage bunker. I don't remember. But in other words, we got plenty of silage for a while. But yeah, next season, I want to plant the grass as soon as I can and get it done. The interesting thing, there was actually, I'm not sure if he's a farmer or not, but he does live in Indiana. He says the hay fields out there in Indiana where he is, they get about 3 cuts on a grass field per year. But depending on how AJ Farmer did the seasons mod for this, I don't remember. I think we cut the grass to make the silage in late spring, early summer. And the grass never got fully regrown again at all this year. So yeah, we cut the grass like on what, the 4th or 5th day of fall, and it never turned to hay. But that was just on a regular grass meadow, meaning it's not a field. Now that we're making it into a field, I don't know if the grass growth parameters are going to change. We'll have to wait until next season. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that gets along there. So yeah, obviously I got a lot to plow here, but as you can see, we're only 10 minutes into the video, and I've already got, like, we're on, what, a third or fourth headland going on here. It didn't actually take me that long. I think I think it took me like a full, in real time, like 35-40 minutes to get this whole field plowed in. And I was happy when I got it done, but it somehow was so satisfying in many ways. One, it's just satisfying plowing the snow and grass in and getting a field in. And 2, getting a project done, or I shouldn't say done, we're just starting the project, really, getting a grass field in. But, you know, I've been talking about it all season, and we're getting it done. We're starting it. We're starting it. And I also talked about, you know, our first year here in Griffin, Indiana is almost coming to a close. We are just in the first day of winter, but I don't see myself doing a lot of these winter contracts. As soon as I get all these fertilizing contracts done that Frank is working on in the Ford tractor, we're just probably going to do one contract of snow removal, because for a couple $100, it's like doing a transportation job. So probably just show that once, and then maybe skip through winter. I'll just have to make sure I maintain the cows. That's all I got to do. You may be thinking, what about the grain pricing and all that? The grain pricing, yes. It's hard to say exactly, since this is our first year here. When we go into seasons, it's giving us the best price throughout the year. But since we haven't played a full season yet, it's hard to know when the best prices are. So our loan is just under 3.3. I was going to say just shy, but it's just under 3.3 million. I was hoping to get it down to 3 million by the end of the season. If I sell the grain, I probably can get it that low. The fertilizing contracts there are going to help out quite a bit. But then I got to remember, each night I got to pay like $20,000 in lease or loan interest fees. So yeah, I'd like to get it down to 3 million. But after the first year, the way we look at it, all the land and all the buildings, I don't want to say it's paid for, but it's inside that loan that we have. All the equipment that we have is, you know, none of it's leased, none of it's used, none of it's that stuff. Everything that we have is ours. So we basically took out a $4 million loan, and we got everything that we have here. We got ourselves, you know, an ideal combine harvester. We got ourselves a 750 horsepower tractor that can haul anything. We got a couple of tractors, actually, and we're slowly paying off that loan little by little. I mean, we got the cow barn, we got a silo bunker, and we got a decent amount of land. I mean, the land is not cheap. It's not a bad price, but when you're playing on hard economy, this is where I go in and check in. I'm checking the... first off, I was trying to figure out where the heck's the page where you check the temperature of the ground, where it needs to be sown at, and it pretty much shows here in seasons. And I was looking at grass like, oh, grass is 37 degrees. I didn't know what the temperature was of grass, because, as you know, when you plant grass, you only have to plant it once, and that's it. Every time you harvest it, you don't have to replant grass again, because it just grows back. That's what grass does. So yeah, I found out it was 37 degrees because I did not quite know. So in springtime, when the grass hits 37, when the ground hits 37 degrees or above, we'll just have to check the forecast in the springtime to make sure the night temperature doesn't drop too cold. Because if the temperature drops too cold at night and the ground temperature dips back below 37, all the seed that we planted will pretty much not germinate, and it'll kill it, and it'll die, and I'll have to replant the grass again. So we'll just have to make sure the temperature is good in the springtime. So yeah, we're getting along here, plowing this field rather well, as you can see. Getting the job done rather well, I think. Yeah, the only issue I had when I first started this, when I was driving around before I started recording, if you're new to seasons, yeah, when you get snow on the ground, it does get slippery. And I was mentioning this before when I was talking about Frank fertilizing that field. If you take a corner too fast, you can slip and slide. So I was trying to be cautious. But when I was in the field plowing, or yeah, subsoiling plowing, it wasn't that bad. A couple times you'll see the subsoiler whip around a corner, but I wasn't going too fast for it. But now I'm getting the headland done around the island here. So next year, it's going to be hard to tell how much of a better yield I'm going to get off the field, because we never got to making hay this year. So I don't have a baseline to go by of how much grass I would have got off this field before it was a field. And now that it's going to be a field and we're going to do precision farming, yeah, we're going to get down. We're going to get probably a lot better yields. What am I doing here? I think I'm checking on Frank to make sure he didn't get stuck going around. I didn't see no warnings pop up from Course Place saying he was stuck, but I was just double checking, because a couple times I've had my workers get stuck and Course Play not tell me that they were having issues. So I was just double checking to make sure Frank wasn't just sitting there with the Breedle spreader on, spreading fertilizer everywhere, not going anywhere. So I've seen that a couple times. So you can see here I'm getting along rather well. Almost wrapping up this field here. And like I said when I was recording the video, it's going to take me a little bit longer to get this done. I didn't know how long, but it's actually at the same point where I did the cut. I was like, yeah, we're about 15 minutes into plowing this field. It's probably going to take me like another 15. So I'm going to bring you guys back when we're near the end here. And what's going on? So we're almost done plowing this field here. So when I get pretty much done with it, I'll bring you guys back and we'll see the finished product. And then we'll start collecting some hay for the cattle. And, well, give them some TMR. And here we are with the last final bits for plowing this field. Like I said, it didn't take me that long. I think it took me like 35 minutes or somewhere around there to get this field all taken care of. And like I said, in between episodes, I hope I get the time to go ahead and get the precision farming done, getting some soil samples out. I'm trying to remember when I was doing Wither Farms, and I did, if you're not watching that series, I have a pretty big field I just bought there. And I would say in relative size, it's probably about the same size as this field. And I think sending all those soil samples in cost me like $5 grand or so. I'm trying to figure out if this field is just about that size. For those who watch Wither Farms and saw me do that big field, I don't know, is that this field about the same size? Maybe this field's a little bit bigger. It's hard to tell because this is oddly, I mean, you're looking at it, it's just an odd-shaped field, so it's hard to tell. And the one at Wither Farms is actually a rectangular field, so it's hard to tell. Anywho, we're bringing the Dutesfar over with the subsoiler, and we're going to give it a quick rinse because, well, obviously I'm done using the subsoiler for the season. So I'm pretty sure the next day of winter, the ground's going to be frozen because it's under, it's under freezing today. Even though it's under below freezing, we're going to go ahead and give this a good power wash. And, well, I don't think it's going to drip dry. It's probably going to freeze on there. But, I got to clean my equipment. This was plowing really good, so I don't think it needs any repair right off. So I'm a penny pincher right now, so we're going to try to save our cash as much as I can. And I think I'm going to even power wash the Dutesfar here pretty soon because I said, I'm here. Why not? Oh, and I was going to mention, because some of you guys have talked about, why not turn field number 1, which we own, and we did oats in it last year, why not turn that into a grass field as well? I'd just rather go ahead and keep planting cereal crop in that and keep getting the straw off that, because people are saying, well, you got the contract, you can get the mod, I can get the straw from the contracts off other farmers' fields. I did that just to sell the straw bales off that to get more cash. So I want to just keep putting down cereal crop in our field that we have, take the straw I get off that field and keep that for the cattle. And any contracts I do next season, yeah, I just want to sell those straw bales. And it's not always a guarantee that there's going to be cereal crop fields out there and I'm going to get those contracts. I had a couple fields I wanted to harvest this past season, and I never got the contracts for them, even though I refreshed contracts over and over again. I had 2 fields of sunflowers that we didn't get. And I know I planted a lot of canola this year, so I actually don't know how many fields of oats, wheat, or barley are actually planted on other farmers' fields. So if I were to plant, let's just say, soybean on my field, and all of a sudden I'm like, okay, I need straw. Where are there any cereal crop fields? Say there's only like 2, and I don't get contracts for them. Actually, I'm seeing a lot of oat fields, so quickly on the PDA, I saw some oat fields. And this was a coincidence. Frank got done with field number 9 just as we were finishing up plowing that field, so that was good timing. And I told Frank pretty much, you know what, Frank, drive off the field because it's not our field. Get out the field and park on the side. And he's going to do the other fertilizing contracts when I'm doing the precision farming in between episodes. But I'm going to collect this contract here pretty darn soon. Looks like I was going over right here. I was trying to show that I was wondering if the Ford tractor could handle hauling this Breedle and working it. But I'm showing here, like on other equipment, it shows you how much horsepower and does KW stand for kilowatts on tractor power? I don't think it's kilowatts. I don't know what that KW actually stands for. Doesn't sound. I mean, I know KW does abbreviate for kilowatts on certain occasions, but is that what it abbreviates for in tractor power? Either way, basically, I was wondering if this. I think it's 105 horsepower in this Ford tractor. I was wondering if it can handle this Breedle, and the Breedle spreader here does not have any requirements for horsepower. So Frank is out there in the Ford, doing the work while we take the big boy out and plow the field today. And like I said, he'll be fertilizing the other fields as well when I'm doing the precision farming later on. Technically, I could use a Ford for precision farming, put the deuce fire back on, but it's working out well. Let's collect that contract for $42,000 and get that cash. And I know I'm showing the other fertilizing contracts I got left to do, good paying ones. And the funny thing is, I was showing here, they still got the baling contracts because the ground's not frozen yet. So I guess they think, hey, go mow the grass there and then bale it. And I'm thinking, no, not going to work. And now we're grabbing the Peterbilt. And I was wondering how the Peterbilt was going to handle driving around in this snow. I got out to manually unattach the trailer. And I'm like, no, this one here, I do it from inside the truck. But the Peterbilt drove really good in the snow. It didn't slide around or anything. Oh, and I also mentioned that I had a couple people ask about this auto-loading trailer that I have. This auto-loading trailer I got off the Nexus Mod Hub, and if I can remember, because I'm recording this video long before it goes out. When I say long before, it's like 5 days before this video goes out. Hopefully I can remember. I'll put in the description the link to that trailer. Now, on the Nexus Mod Hub, you have to create an account there. You can create an account for free, but I think when you sign up for it, it's going to say what monthly price do you want to pay, because if you have a premium account there or something, I think you can download the mods quicker. But there is a way, you can create a free account there and get some pretty decent mods off that site as well. But hopefully I can remember to put the link in the description below. Like I said, I'm recording this like 5 days before the video goes out because, like I said, I got a lot of work to do between this episode, next episode, and these next episode goes out the day after this one goes out. So I need to get the work done. So I don't know if you saw on the way down here, at first the road has no snow in it. So that road has a snow mask on it, I believe. But when you get down to the village or the city here, there's snow on the road. So there's no snow mask on the roads down here. And I almost missed my turn going down the main strip here. But I hit the brakes on that Peterbilt and the truck did not slide or anything in the snow, so it handles really well. And if you notice, I'm on the way down here, I decided to give you an in-cab view of the Peterbilt. I keep saying Peterbilt. In-game, it's not called a Peterbilt, but let's face it, it is. And I can't pronounce the name brand that they put on it. And the reason why they do that is it can't go in the Giants Mod Hub, because if they don't have a name brand license to put it on there, like Peterbilt, if they don't have an agreement with Peterbilt, they can't put a brand on there. So that's why you see the brand name Lizard. Lizard is Giants brand name they put on for equipment that looks like, so sometimes you see like a trailer and they'll say Lizard on it, so they'll say, well, that looks like so-and-so's tractor. Well, if they don't have the license to that company, that's why they use Lizard. Little brief description on that. So here are the bales, which hardly I ever buy because why would you? But we're buying 8 bales for just, like I said, a little over 5,000. We'll buy those. And, of course, luckily with an auto-loading trailer, I'm just making sure that the trailer is set for large square bales. Because this trailer, like I said, I'll put the link in the description below, hopefully. So, yeah, this auto-loading trailer takes bales, pallets, cotton bales. I'm trying to think, am I missing anything there? But yeah, basically most things there. And yeah, I'm trying to not knock over the bales. I don't know why. It doesn't matter if I kept hitting the fence. And on back to the cattle we go. Okay, so I'm sliding a little bit there in the snow. Good times. So yeah, day 1 of winter is where we're at. And like I said, I was kind of hoping to get the loan down to about 3 million. Like I said, I don't know if I'll be selling the grain in our silo or not. We'll have to wait and see how I feel and if the pricing goes up. It's kind of weird, and I know I said this a few times in other videos, but rate demands in Farming Simulator 19 is different than it ever used to be. So way back in like Farming Simulator 15, when you had a great demand for a crop or whatever, yeah, I just noticed the truck ran over something there. I don't know what the heck it was. But in FS15, when you had a great demand for a crop, when a great demand popped up, basically it was like a 50% increase in what the crop was going for that time. So let's just say soybean was going for $1,000. All of a sudden, great demand pop up. Now you can sell for $1,500 per 1,000 liters. Great demands in 19. Sometimes I got great demands at one sell point. I'm like, okay, you want a great demand for that product, but the other sell point is actually offering more money. They're not even a great demand. So it's kind of weird how the great demands work in 19. So that's beside the point. When great demands come up, I'm like, oh, look at it, but I don't think it's going to be anything special. So now you can see, like I said before, we're going up here by our farm, and the road up here has no snow in it. So it's almost like he put a snow mask on it. And this is the other thing I was talking about. Getting in here with a Peterbilt and a 53-foot-long trailer, getting into the gate into the cow's barn here is a little snug, but you can get in no problem. So we sneak the trailer in, not a problem. Maybe my ATS skills are coming in there a little bit. I doubt it. When I say skills, we can all laugh at that too. But here we go. We're going to unload the bales the fun way because the Ford's not here. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to get the bale spike on the front loader. And the Dukes Fire does not have a front loader attacher on it, I don't think. So we're just going to get the truck and trailer out of the way so don't auto-load. And yep, so we already got our silage and straw in the TMR mixer. Now I'm going to pick up the hay bales because I got my super strength on. Yeah, 4,000 liters. So we're going to get, obviously, 32,000 liters of hay out of here. So now the big thing is, we're going to feed our cattle here some silage. The question is, how much are they going to take? So we got 20 cattle. I know when you go into the seasons mode, it'll tell you how much they expect to take for the year, but not how much they're going to take per feeding. So seeing that we're playing with 6-day seasons, when we feed our cattle, they're good for 2 days. So when you feed your animals, I'll make it simplify it. When you play seasons, when you feed your animals, it's good for 1/3 of that season. So if you're playing 12-day seasons, it's good for 4 days. Yeah, 4 days. So when you feed animals, they're good for 4 days. If you're playing on, how many days can you go up in seasons? Can you go up to 30 days? Whatever. But yeah, when you feed the animals, it's good for 1/3 of the season. So 6-day seasons, I'm good for 2 days. And then I remembered, did I give my cows water? Because, yeah, the previous episode with the hay fiasco going on, I couldn't remember. I passed a couple days. I'm like, did I give them water? I don't have the automatic pump on for seasons as well, which slowly gives them water. So now I'm coming in here and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what we figured out the rations of 50% silage, 30% straw, 20% hay, and the automatic feeder is going to feed them at 6 in the morning, 6 in the evening. So now I'm looking at it like, well, can I just press a button and it'll automatically feed them? And I didn't see one there. So I'm like, okay, what can I do here? Then I fiddled around. I walked around. And I'm trying to think, okay, is it making? I'm like, how does it do it? How does this work? This is where I said I probably should have tested it off cam. So now here I am. I'm like, let's change the automatic feeding time. I'll put it for 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll fast forward time. And it should work great, right? It should work fabulous. So we exit out. Yeah, I got the automatic feeding time for 1,300 hours, which is 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So now we're going to fast forward time here at some point, right? I'm waiting for it. Yeah, so, yep, putting the speed up a little bit on the time. There we go. And 1 o'clock shows up, and I'm sitting there looking at him like, okay, are you doing anything? Something? Can you do something? I come in here, I'm like, okay, is it coming to feed? And I come around here, and I see the feed maker just sitting there, and I'm thinking, okay, now what? Now what do I do? I have no idea, he says. And he sits there and waits. And he checks out some more things. So long story short, I tried this a couple times, and finally I did a little cut, and I found out. First year I was trying to figure out, will they not take TMR because they're full of silage and almost grass, and they can't take any more food? But no, that's not the case. So I come back in here, and I'm trying to think, okay, let's try changing the rations, and I want to find it here in a second. Wait for the mouse to go over to it. And then I'm looking right here. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. What are these two buttons here? Oh, the amount to feed them. I'm like, I have it at 0, so that's why it's not going to feed them anything. So what did I put it at? It looks like I put it at 4,000, and I'm changing the times around again. I think I put it to 10,000 liters. I do believe I put it at 10,000 liters. I was trying to figure out how much are they going to require. It's like, okay, let's give them 10,000 and more need feeding. I don't know what that does, so I said, you know what? I'm just going to put it somewhere. I'll put it at 50%. I'm like, okay, now what? Is it going to start making some TMR? Does it make the TMR, or does it not make it until the machine comes on? And I'm trying to figure out, okay, what do I do here? What do I do here? Yeah, I'm looking at 10,000 liters. I'm like, why isn't it making TMR? I'm like, you know what? Let's cut down to more feeding because maybe it's too much. I have no idea. Let's put it at 25. And I'm like, all right. Let's put an automatic feeding on for 2 o'clock. And we'll advance time once again to 2 o'clock. Wait for it. And 2 o'clock comes, and bam, there we go. It's showing me that I have too much feed for what the cattle need. I'm like, well, is it going to work? I'm looking over here. I'm like, okay, what's it doing? And we're like, okay, well, hey, it's moving. So this has probably got kind of confused. For some reason, the mixer comes. It starts at the other end. It comes to the furthest point, which is to get straw, and then it works its way back from where it came. Like you can see, it's filling up with silage. And this is where I gave the modders of this mod some credit here, because they make animations for the doors opening for the feeders for the straw, hay, and silage. You can see the door will open, and then the hay comes in. Oh my god, that's pretty neat. They actually went through a lot of animation on that, so it worked out pretty. It looks pretty darn good. And then I'm like, what's it going to do? So now it goes all the way back to its starting point. And I was like, then it paused. I'm like, wait a minute, what are you doing? I'm like, don't tell me you're not going to feed. I come in here and it's just sitting there. I'm like, oh, okay, there. And this went on its own. And then, of course, it goes on down here. And then, of course, it feeds our cattle some TMR. So, hopefully our cattle's health goes up. They've been at 58% from like the day we bought them. Because the only thing they've been eating up to this day has been grass. We gave them silage in this in-game day at the end of the last episode because they were running low on grass, because obviously their grass field doesn't make any more grass. It's too cold for the grass to grow. But now with TMR, hopefully the next couple of days their health goes up and up and up. And I want to say this is true, but don't count on it here. I think the healthier the cattle are, the more milk they'll actually produce. But obviously they're not producing milk now anyways. But I'm trying to get their health will take a while to go up. I think I'm showing here. Oh, so they took 8,700 liters of TMR and I programmed to give them 10,000. So, do I need to do 2 feedings in a day right now? Probably not. So I may go in and change that later on. I may just have 1 feeding in the morning to make sure they're fine. So I come in here to make sure that the feeder comes all the way back. Now I'm looking at how much hay do we use. And basically I use about, what, 1,200 liters? No, 1,800 liters. Yeah, 1,800 liters of hay. So not much at all. So basically that TMR that we gave them should be good for 2 days. So I got enough hay, silage, and hay, silage, and straw here to feed the 20 cattle that we have for quite a while. So I think it's going to go all rather good. And I think we're all set. So the good news is I'm showing here, yep, the field is plowed. I need to get some precision farming done. We gave the cattle their TMR. And I think they're going to be good to go. So the rest of today, I won't say rest of the day, but I'm going to get precision farming done before next episode. I don't know what day of the year it's going to be when we get to next episode. And there I'm showing the health of the cattle. Hopefully it goes up by giving them TMR. So yeah, next episode we will do one of these clearing snow contracts. And then we just may take care of the cattle a little bit. And then zip right to spring. Because there's not much else for me to do. Maybe sell some grain if the price looks good. And maybe we'll just work on possibly getting the loan down to $3 million. I think at the beginning of the series, at $3 million loan, I think our loan interest gets down like $18,000, somewhere around there. So I just got to make sure I keep enough money to get through until spring till new contracts come up and we get that done. Oh, I'm also showing here, I got told for this mod that to put straw in, you don't need a bale shredder. Just bring the bales of straw in and it'll take them. So I was trying to figure out, do I just place the bales of straw out there? Or do I need to come in there where we feed them? But I think it's right where all the straw is. That makes sense. And yeah, here, this is the reason why I'm not doing straw, because I want the liquid slurry. So we can, you know, we're going to get ourselves the, what's the name of that? The big slurry, if you've been here long enough, the same big slurry spreader that we had on the Pacific Northwest, that one that does like 36 meters wide. I hope to use that one. And like I said, that'll be there to fertilize our grass field and any other fields that we have. Right now, the cows aren't making that. I think we got, I'm going to check here in a second, but I think they got like 50 some odd thousand liters of liquid slurry, which sounds like a lot, but I don't think 56,000 liters is even going to get me around the field once, this grass field here. But we only got 20 cattle, and that's going to 1,000 times over. Not 1,000 times over. That sounds like too much. Is it? Either way, we're going to have like 2,000 cattle at some point. We'll have tons of slurry then. So we'll figure it all out. But yeah, I'm showing next episode, we'll get into one of these kind of contracts here, the snow removal, just to see what it's like. And like I said, any of you been, you know, on other maps with seasons on, do they have winter contracts like this? Or is it different for every map, or what have you? I'm not sure. I'm sure it's probably somewhere else as well. But anyways, that is going to do it for today's episode, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. I do appreciate you watching as always. And I'll catch you again right here in Griffin, Indiana. But until then, have a good one.